Welcome back to True Story with John Gibson. Today we got a special guest, special athlete, Jack Ferguson. How are you, man?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for having me.
Oh, completely my pleasure, man. I've been a fan of yours for a while. Instagram stalker, seen your fights on YouTube. Cannot wait to pick your brain, man.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
All right, as we record this right now, it's currently like 10:45 p.m. for my man here in Bangkok. So thank you very much for making this happen. Right with that out of the gate, how did you yourself make your way to Bangkok?
Very interesting story, bro. So I started fighting professionally in New Zealand as a teenager, sort of working normal jobs and working like construction and things like this. And I kind of felt like this is not what I want to do. It's not my life, cool for some people, not cool for me. So just pulled as many strings as I could in the MMA world until I managed to secure some sponsorships here. And currently been here in Thailand for 5 years now.
Yeah. Wow.
So living the dream, wake up, train, spend time how you'd like to. And I haven't really looked back so far. I learned the language and everything like that. So really enjoying my time here in Thailand so far.
It's beautiful, man. I'm sure you've inspired other fighters to do it, I imagine. But like, I've always been like a huge fan of John Wayne Parr, huge fan. He's been on the show before. And it's watching you and your journey. I'm like, man, this is like so crazy, like these parallels, I wanted to ask, I was thinking about this morning, and I don't know if this was your experience, but when you first went down there, did you just have to like punch a bag until somebody would come and talk to you, or did you have trainers willing to work with you?
It's very interesting the way that they treat different fighters here. I think different gyms have different approaches.
Okay.
But it is a very give and take, So if you're willing to help the trainers with something, they're willing to help you. But I think the problem with a lot of very commercial gyms is the fact that they see like thousands of fighters come for 1 day, 1 week, and they never get to actually develop the fighter themselves. They just hold the pads and they go home. So I feel like a lot of the trainers don't have that emotional connection to the people because it's just a customer. They come, they go, blah, blah, blah. But it's about finding the right gym that's like not too commercial, because that way you actually get that intimate one-on-one time, the connection with your coach, because otherwise they're just there to get paid and they go home. But if you take care of them and you show you want to be a part of the team, you're actually serious and you want to put time in, I think they'll be a lot more considerate to you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, for sure. Let me ask this, man, because watching your fights and your style, you're pretty ferocious, and you also have great cardio, and like your fighting style is like fast. It's hard. It's fast. Not a lot of breaks, and when you get them, I don't even know if they count. Like, I don't know, but totally different style. I mean, how do you condition yourself to fight that way? I know that sounds so like a silly question, or maybe it's a hard question, but like, I don't know how you stay so durable is what I guess I'm asking.
Right. I think it comes down to obviously the way you train has to be for MMA, I find personally when I have like a Muay Thai fight and I just do Muay Thai for a couple months, my cardio is super good for Muay Thai. I come back to wrestling and I gas out. Like the energy systems are different. It's totally. Like wrestling's like a constant squeeze, a total control, and Muay Thai you're bouncing, you're more explosive. So we have to train both of the systems. So like a lot of what we do in preparation leading up to the fight will be we call like sharking rounds. So we'll start like 5 or 6 minute rounds. First minute on the air dyne, like the assault bike. Then second minute is like pads, like hard pads combinations. Third minute is like rolling with an opponent. Back on pads, back wrestling. Just sort of mix it up. Like if you're getting too tired that you can't get up, they'll sort of push you to get up to back on pads. Like it's more about getting that like maximum heart rate, not so much about technique in the final couple of weeks before the fight.
Sure.
I think that's probably my biggest secret to cardio.
Yeah. Now, what about diet? Do you prescribe any particular diet, or do you do something different in camp, out of camp, or do you try to stay clean year round? Like, what's sort of your plan?
In terms of diet, bro, it's kind of interesting. Because we exercise so much, I can kind of get away with eating whatever, you know.
I'm the same way, and it infuriates people. And I'm like, but I train every day of my life, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I'm the same. I get it. Yeah.
But
Good for
I
you.
think the biggest thing for me, bro, is I never eat until I'm full. I never, you know, like Christmas dinner and you sit there and you eat and you're like, ugh, I just want to, all you want to do is sleep. It makes you like lazy, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, I try and eat like 80%, you know, so like I'm full, I've got enough food, but I'm never like, I don't have that crash. I don't have that sort of lazy feeling you get after being super full. So it keeps sort of focused mentally during the day also, as well as like, you're never really overindulging, even if it is kind of like a sweet food or something perhaps more calorie dense.
Sure. Well, good. So you have good control and moderation. You're obviously really disciplined. What were you like as a kid? Were you a maniac or were you disciplined then?
So as a child, quite interesting. Even now, I have a very big problem with authority, John. I really hate being told what to do. So as a kid, I got into a lot of trouble just because I wouldn't listen to teachers or I wouldn't listen to my parents or, these kind of things. So it's something that I really was a problem when I was a kid. And then I kind of used that into I used it as a motivation. No one's going to tell me that I can't achieve something. No one's going to tell me I can't do something. So it's kind of like turned what could perhaps be considered a negative thing, a negative personality trait, into motivation, something positive, something productive.
You learn how to channel it for sure in a positive way. Yeah, good for you, man. Like, I love talking to fighters because, I've never fought. Wrestling and jiu-jitsu is my athletic background. So I know competition, but I don't know fighting, and I don't pretend to know fighting. Right. And as I get to know fighters, and especially I get to pick their brain like this, I find that 90% of the time, or even more, they're the most laid back people. They're very balanced, but they have to go rage. And if they don't get that rage out, they're maniacs. I feel like they're born fighters. You're a born fighter. Like, it's who you are, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like there's two kinds of people. There's people that are athletes and there's people that are fighters.
Sure.
And neither is better or worse than the other, but people that are athletes, they like competing, they like the aspect of fighting, but they sometimes neglect the grind, the physical, like when things are not in their favor. Sometimes can be an issue, Whereas someone that's like a fighter, maybe they're not even that athletic, but they just have that grind mentality,
Right.
So I think it's very important to try and mix both of them. You want to be as athletic as possible while still being able to fight through like a loss or you lost a round, you have to come back and bring your energy back with something like this.
Well, I'm glad you said that, and I wish I could recall the fighter. You had an awesome Muay Thai fight where you came back from adversity and beat the crap out of this dude. But man, he brought it on you quick. Do you recall? I'm sorry, I don't remember the opponent. Do you recall what I'm referring to? This match or fight?
If it's on YouTube, maybe it was Jerry.
It's on
Norris.
YouTube. Gosh, I can't even remember. You're in a ring with maybe a white canvas. I don't know. He came out really high volume, and I just wasn't used to it. I'm no Muay Thai expert, but I feel like there's a rhythm to those fights. There's a little bit of not carrying each other, but you ramp up, and then a lot of times they'll go to score, And this one did that, but it was like he came out so aggressive that I was like, is he trying to finish this early? It was something I wasn't used to seeing, and you were really composed. And it's when I really fell in love with your style, because you're very agile, but you got hammers, it's an awesome mix, Did you do traditional boxing in New Zealand before you did Muay Thai?
Right. So, I I originally started just completely as an MMA fighter. So I learned all disciplines sort of equally, but we do definitely mix in a lot of boxing, probably focus more so on the boxing than the traditional Muay Thai. I feel like in MMA, you can get away with just having really good hands and being aware of kicks, being capable of blocking them, for example, but you don't have to have, like Khabib's not going to knock someone out with a head kick, but he's got everything else. Right. So I feel like they're definitely a great weapon to have, but then perhaps not the most necessary or the most primary weapon, as opposed to you have to have good boxing, good head movement.
Yeah. So what's the end game for you? Have you had any opportunity with management to reach out to like Bellators or UFCs or these other promotions?
Right. So mainly because we're here in Asia, I'm probably looking more towards one championship.
Yeah, of course.
Just in terms of one, I'm close with a lot of the guys at one, and two, I speak Thai and Japanese. So it's just like a great market for
well, you're marketable for them too. You're really good for them too. So a good friend and friend of the show, Hollywood, Johnny Case. He's fought for one before as well, and I actually love their fights. They're spectacles. They remind me of Pride. I love their fights. Right. Yeah, that would be really exciting. I feel like you'd be super marketable for them.
That's definitely the goal, but I'm also trying to it was explained well to me by my friend that in terms of fighting, you don't actually make money from fighting. You make money from being the fighter. You know what I mean? In terms of like, you make money from having the name of the fighter and being the athlete, doing the commercial, being
marketing.
Yeah. Well, this is like attention equals money, So if you have that big name, you like McGregor sold his whiskey for 600 million purely because he's McGregor. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely branching out into other aspects of the industry, which is entertainment.
Yeah.
So
well, let's talk about that, man. Dude, you're a handsome guy. And I mean, like, I feel like and you're athletic and stuff. So I see you're marketable for sure. Like, so what are you pursuing here? Are you acting or anything?
I haven't really considered acting as far as of right now. I've been doing a lot of modeling recently. I actually just finished a photo shoot maybe an hour ago. That's why my hair's all
cool, man.
So yeah, definitely trying to just be more presentable. Like the whole reason I'm learning Japanese is for basically I just want to go and fight in Japan and be remembered, be able to engage with an audience while I'm there. So I think it's about incorporating skills outside of fighting, because once you get to a certain level, everyone's tough, everyone can fight, everyone's can wrestle, you know what I mean? But not everyone can be the face of a company or the face of a brand or able to be, as you mentioned, in a movie or something. So I'm trying to branch out and to take over every aspect of the game, not just the actual fight itself.
Hey, I agree with that path to success. I agree with it. And you want brands to champion you, and you want to attract the Under Armours or the Nikes and the Coca-Colas, the Gatorades. So yeah, for sure. And you can't do it without putting yourself out there. And I think a lot of fighters hopefully will listen to your advice here, because it's really easy to focus on being the best fighter, of course. And especially when the stakes are so high, you're about to get punched and kicked. It's hard not to focus on that. That's a scary proposition, but it's also important to think long-term, and you want to have mass appeal. You want to be able to be a crossover, a Conor McGregor, it doesn't have to be once in a lifetime, so it's a great perspective. I think that's awesome. I really do.
I think it's just sorry, I was just going to say, I think it's just the business side of things. Like, people complain about fighter pay, which is a big issue. I do believe they should be paid more, but at the same time, you have one of the biggest platforms in the world in UFC with millions of people watching. If you're not going to use that to your advantage outside of, you got to help yourself too, So
of course,
that's kind of the mentality behind it. Like, it's the opportunity would be so wasted perhaps if you didn't take advantage of it.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. It's such a massive platform. And, I wonder how many Instagram followers those guys get in one night, especially if you do something spectacular, if you're able to
Right.
get that knockout or that submission, or even just put on a really competitive fight where people are like, that was amazing. It's a wonderful opportunity. Exactly. It's amazing you value that. Again, some people, the goal is just to get there and say UFC fighter or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have any ambitions to maybe coach one day or have an academy of your own?
So I'm actually very, very blessed to be a part of Marrok Gym here in Bangkok. It's like a brand new facility that it started maybe last year.
Oh, cool.
So we're still gathering and sponsoring athletes and bringing everything together. So I'm not the boss, I'm not in charge of it, but I'm one of the key members of the team. And sometimes we take turns coaching like each other. We have Coach DJ Jackson here coaching with us also, but everyone's always traveling all over to different fights and stuff. So like sometimes I'll coach, sometimes my friends coach. I haven't thought about opening an academy of my own at present, just because I'm so invested in the gym that we have right now.
Sure.
But it is definitely a possibility like further down the line.
Sure.
It's not something I would focus on while I'm competing and while I'm a part of this team, but I'm not going to say no. It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Totally. It makes sense not to distract, and loyalty is important. At this point in your phase, you're still pursuing your career, so no reason to sever those things. But yeah, that makes sense totally to me. Awesome. So let me kind of leave this as my final question here. Actually, I have two questions, but outside of fighting, I know we focused a lot on that just because I'm such a fan, but like, what else is going on in your life? I mean, you have any other kind of hobbies or interests or things that you read about, anything that we're sharing?
Man, I've actually been doing so many different things. Right now, I'm kind of just throwing enough spaghetti at the wall until something sticks. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
So, I guess the main things would be learning languages, Thai, Japanese. I got offered to do some stuff on TV, sort of around here in Thailand, but like I speak Thai, but it's not perfect. So I have to go back to school for a little bit to get more fluent, perhaps. Modeling is a big thing. I have a meeting with an agency next week. So
great. Congratulations.
Thank you, bro.
It's cool to see
it.
how busy you are. It's great, man. And I feel like it's a testament to you're making these opportunities for yourself. Obviously, you're making it happen, and you're taking advantage of everything along the way. It's awesome. Well, so the second part to that question is this. So where can people reach you if they want to have any kind of inquiry, or they just want to follow you, fans? What's the best place? Is it Instagram, Facebook?
Yeah, I'd say Instagram's probably the best.
Okay.
The best place, just Jack Ferguson 125. Probably the best way to get it. But yeah, I try and I'll be trying to upload some more stuff soon, hopefully. Something interesting, perhaps.
Sure. Yeah, and I'll share this, and first of all, I'll link that to this and everything as well. But I'll share your links, but I'll also send you the links to everything as well to share for
Thank
the
you,
episode.
bro. I'd love to.
Oh, of course. Yeah, my pleasure. I've really enjoyed this, Jack. Like these are questions you never know. If someone's on their journey, and it takes a special person to brave it to Bangkok. It'd be like, I'm gonna go try this MMA thing out, So I'm really kind of looking forward to being like, wow, what is this guy about? So pleasantly surprised. You're very smart. You're cerebral. You're studying languages. Like, blew my mind, bro.
Thank you, bro. I got one more thing that I'm really excited to tell everyone about. Is I'm partnering with a charity called the Broken Movement in Christchurch, back in New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
And so during I'm going home at the end of the year to fight for the belt in New Zealand, and I'm going to fight for the belt and go and give a speech at a high school and at a juvenile detention center. So just personally, I'm really excited about that, to be able to share more about myself and perhaps promote or encourage a kind of esoteric lifestyle for new people, try and change other people's lives too. So yeah, that's something I'm really happy about too.
That's super exciting. What is the name of that program again?
The Broken Movement.
The Broken Movement. I'm going to include this in a subsequent clip for sure, man. I'm happy,
Thank you,
happy to help support that. And congratulations on congratulations on joining this, but like, of course the fight's going to be exciting. You're going to win the belt, but to speak to the kids and that's really valuable. That's super important.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try and consider the fact it's not just about one person, it's not just me anymore. I'm trying to be like everyone, bring everyone with me too. Like, I want to go to the top and I want to bring everyone along with me, so I think it's important.
When you fight in Thailand, do you carry a New Zealand flag?
I haven't actually carried a flag to a fight just because I don't have one. I certainly would.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's totally fine. I just wondered because I was like, you could carry the back of New Zealand in a way. Like there's an amazing opportunity in that, McGregor's got Ireland, Khabib. We have these people that are iconic to these geographical areas and stuff. And it's an interesting thought for sure.
Yeah, I'd love to represent New Zealand or more like on the sort of world stage or something like this. But I just love the idea of like I had some friends message me the other day. And they said like after sort of following, what I'm doing for a while, they stopped drinking. They started playing like competitive rugby. They got new jobs, got promotions. So like, and they said like, they mentioned it to me, but like I'm not taking credit for anything they're doing. But they said I helped to inspire them, So like, it's those kind of things that really mean a lot to me. So.
Of course. Isn't it mind blowing? Like you never know what effect you might have on someone, and then you get a message like that, and it's like. Crazy, and especially I imagine it's like you're probably sore a lot. You're probably tired a lot, so it's not like just somebody getting up and doing their cardio at the gym before work, which is admirable. That's great, like, but you're on a different level, so it's cool to know you're inspiring everybody, not just fighters. That's cool.
I like to think I'm trying to make like a positive impact to someone, to something. So I think it's definitely a big motivation for me is not just myself. Like, I want the belt to look cool and I want to be the champ, but I want to champion other people's admiration too, or their inspiration perhaps.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. It's awesome, man. Let's end it right there. That was awesome. Awesome. Thank you again so much, man, for finding the time. Again, I'm going to include links so everybody can reach out to you and follow you and get to know you a little better too on this journey. Hopefully you'll come back on the show, man. Let's try to do something after that. We'll show that belt off.
Thank you so much, bro. It's a pleasure being here and talking to you. I know I've been meaning to message you for a while to link up. So I'm always down for a chat, bro. End of the year, I'll come back with that belt and we'll have another chat. How about that?
100%. It's done. It's done, man. Thank you so much. Thank you again for your time. It's a true story. John Gibson. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you.